Hello everyone, welcome on BioFun Learning. I am Dr. Sarita Agrahari and today we are going to start another new very important and interesting topic, that is crop production and management. But before that, I would like to tell you that we are conducting online classes for class 8 to 12th and specialized NEET classes, BSc, MSc and BTech classes also. For that, the registration is free and the link is in the description. You have to fill that registration form. We are also conducting the free demo classes. If you have any queries, then you can contact us. Now let's start the chapter crop production and management. Why crop production is so much important? जैसे कि आप जानते हो हमारी बेसिक नीड्स है रोटी कपड़ा एंड मकान. आउट ऑफ दिस we all know food is first most important requirement. We get energy from food. Where does this food come from? We get food from the plants and animals or from both. So there is a proper sequence through which we ultimately get the food. So we need to produce food at large scales that we all going to study in this chapter. Indian agriculture began by 10,000 BCE. 70% of rural population in India is still depend primarily on the agriculture for their livelihood. ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन मतलब हरित क्रांति की शुरुआत 1965 में हुई थी. एम एस स्वामीनाथन इज़ द फादर ऑफ ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन इन इंडिया. Before independence, there was extremely low productivity of the crops. So, in green revolution, more focus on the introduction and growth of high-yielding varieties of the plants and grains. Now we are exporting grains. India is the multi-product agricultural powerhouse. No other country grows as many food and non-food crops as in India. Do you know? India ranks second worldwide in the farm outputs. So what are the crops? Basically, when plants of same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on large scale, it is called a crop. मतलब खेत. For example, crop of wheat means all the plants grown in a field are that of wheat, like that of crops of cereals, pulses, corn, vegetable, fruits, etc. Let's have a look on the types of crops. Despite diversity in Indian climate like temperature, humidity and rainfall, it is vary from one region to another region. So we found specifically three broad cropping patterns in India, that is Kharif crops, Rabi crops and Zaid crops. Kharif crops are monsoon crops, Zaid crops are summer crops and Rabi crops are winter crops. Kharif crops. The crops which are sown in rainy season are called Kharif crops, generally from June to September. For example, rice, paddy, maize, soya bean, groundnut, cotton. Paddy is the main food crop cultivated in Andaman Island. Recently also become important crop of Punjab and Haryana. Some of the most important rice growing regions are Assam, West Bengal, Orissa, etc. Have you think why paddy cannot grow in the winter season? Because paddy requires a lots of water. Therefore it is not grown in the rainy season. So what are Rabi crops? Rabi crops are the crops which are sown in the winter season are called Rabi crops, generally from October to March. Examples of Rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, linseeds. But the main Rabi crops is wheat. States such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh are the main Rabi crop producing states. Now Zaid crops. This is a short crop season in between the Rabi and Kharif season. Crops like pulses, fruits, vegetables are the Zaid crops. Like watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber are the crops of the Zaid. So you have that kind of complete cycle. Let's say you sown the seed in the Rabi season and by the spring season you have crops which are Rabi crops. Then you have 3 months of summer season in which you have fruits and vegetables that are Zaid crops. After Zaid season you have Kharif season. In the Kharif season again you are sowing the seeds in the summer and finally you have crops that comes up by the starting of the Rabi season, such that we have complete the crop cycle. Now let's study the basic practices for crop production. by which we can improve the quality and quantity of our crop. We start with the preparation of soil and we will move on to the storage of grains. Once we got grain, we can use it at any time. First, we prepare the soil for sowing the seeds. Then we sow the seeds. After that, we add manure and fertilizers. Then we provide water to the seeds by irrigation. We remove any kinds of unwanted growth, that is weed, in the crop. Then we harvest the crop, cut down the crop, and finally we store the grains. Those are the stages under the basic practices for crop production. Now let's study them in detail. First step is the preparation of soil. Preparation of soil is the first and most important step in cultivating a crop for food production. Here we loosen the soil. This allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil. Loosened soil helps to grow the earthworms and microbes present in the soil. As you know, earthworms are friends of farmer. They help in farming. As you learnt in the previous classes, that soil contains minerals, waters, air, some microbes, and some dead and decaying matters of the plants and animals that are decomposed by soil microorganisms. In that way, various nutrients of the dead organisms are released back into the soil. These nutrients are again absorbed by the plants. This is done in three steps. First is plowing. The process of loosening and turning the soil is called plowing or tiling. It is done with the help of plow attached to the bullock or tractors. Second is the leveling. The plowed soil may have big clumps of the soil called crumbs. It is necessary to break these crumbs. Thus, the plowed soil is leveled by pressing it with a wooden or an iron leveler so as it prevents the soil erosion. It is also beneficial for sowing and for irrigation. Third is the manuring. Manuring means adding manure to the soil. Sometimes manure is added to the soil before plowing. Addition of manure to soil before plowing helps in proper mixing of manure with the soil. Manure helps in better yield. All this is done with some tools like plow, hoe and cultivator. Plow. Plowing or tiling requires plow. It contains a strong triangular iron strips, that is plowshare. It has been moved from bullocks. So as you can see here, bullocks is moving plowshare and it ultimately loosening the soil. Later on, wooden plow is replaced by iron plow. Iron plow could also be used by animal or by human beings. So we moved from humans to animals and now we moved even to tractors. So when tractors used to do this, we called it as cultivator. You can see a cultivator here. It saved lots of time and labor. How? As you can see here a hoe. It is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds or for loosening the soil. It has long rod of wood or iron. A strong plate of iron is fixed to one of its end and works like a blade. So the next step is sowing the seed. Sowing means putting the seeds into the ground soil for growing the crop plants. For that, what we need? We need good quality of clean and healthy seeds, which gives good yield. For that, you take a beaker or a vessel and fill half of it with water. Put some seeds into it, like gram seeds or wheat seeds or any other seeds, and stir it and wait for a while. What happens? Some seeds floats on the water because they are damaged and hollow inside and thus becomes lighter. So they float on the water. Remove those seeds and those seeds which settles down are of good quality. This is good method to separate good quality of seeds from damaged one. There are traditional technique of sowing the seed by manually, in which seeds are scattering in the field by manually. This method is known as broadcasting, but the seeds sown by these methods are unevenly distributed in the field. Nowadays, seed drill are used for sowing the seeds. By this technique, seeds are evenly distributed with a proper distance and reaches to the right depth. It consists of vertical pipe with a funnel at the top. Drill is attached to the plow. It may be driven by bullocks or tractors, but this technique is laborious and time consuming. Nowadays, seed drill machines are used. As you can see here, it is attached with tractors. for sowing the seeds. By this technique, seeds sown uniformly at proper distance and depth, and seeds gets covered after sowing so that it get prevented by the damage caused by birds. It saves the time and labor. In some cases, seeds of a few plants such as paddy and some flowering plants are first grown in the nursery. When plants grow into seedling, they are transplanted to the field. Then the third point is adding manure and fertilizers. So what is manure and fertilizers? Basically the substance which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plants are called manures and fertilizers. Manures are organic and fertilizers are artificial. Farmers usually do manuring, means addition of manure to the field to replenish soil with nutrients. Manures are completely organic, made up of the decomposed plants and animals waste. It is not harmful. It enhances water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases become easy. It increases friendly microbes in the soil. Fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in particular nutrients. It produces artificially in factories. Some known fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, NPK, means N stand for nitrogen, P stand for phosphorus, and K stands for potassium. Fertilizers increases yield of the crop. It is difficult in conventional farming without fertilizers. But the fertilizers are harmful. It causes water pollution, air pollution, land pollution, and lots of health effects. So nowadays, more focus on organic farming. Organic farming is done by like vermicomposting, manure, crop rotation, biofertilizers, animal husbandry, that we will study in detail in higher classes. Another method of soil replenishment is crop rotation, means growing different crops alternatively. For example, farmers used to grow legumes in one season and wheat in the next season. As you have already studied in your previous classes, in leguminous plant, rhizobium bacteria are present in the root nodules. They fix atmospheric nitrogen, so the soil becomes rich in nitrogen for the next crop, that is wheat. Now, the fourth point is irrigation. Irrigation means supply of water to the crops in the field at specific interval. It varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, season to season. For example, in summer, the frequency is higher. Plant contains nearly 90% of water. So why the water is so much important? Basically, germination of seeds does not take place without water. Nutrients dissolved in water are transported to each part of the plant. Root fails to develop and elongate in dry soil. Water protects the plants from frost and dry air current to maintain moisture of the soil for healthy crops. So, water is very important for the growth of plants. Let's study source of irrigation. Sources of water are wells, tube wells, pond, lakes, rivers, dams, canals, etc. There are two methods: traditional methods of irrigation and modern method of irrigation. So, first look at the traditional method like moat or pulley system, chain pump, dhekli, rahat are some common traditional methods. In all these methods, the water available in wells, lakes or canals is lifted by cattle or human. These techniques are laborious. So first look at the moat or pulley system. It is simple system to dig water from the well. Next is the chain pump. As you can see here, what happens, you have a wheel attached to another wheel and on the chain there is a bucket attached to it. These buckets are go round and round in water. Empty buckets go inside the water and filled bucket comes up. So this is the chain pump. Next is dhekli. Dhekli is the simple rope and bucket system. On one side of a stand or rod, you have a bucket tied by a rope, and on another side, a heavy counterweight. In this, you have manually to pull up water. Next is rahat. Under rahat, an animal is used. It may be cow or bull that move go. around, and you have wheel that works in water. Along the wheels you have bucket. This wheels goes inside the water and fills up, and another empty bucket goes inside and fill up and comes up with filled bucket. This goes on and on. So these are the traditional method of irrigation. Next is modern method of irrigation. Modern method helps us to use water economically. Under modern irrigation, there are two types: drip system and sprinkler system. In sprinkler system, it is very useful for lawns, coffee plantation, and the land which is uneven, where sufficient water is not available. So in this, there is a kind of rotating nozzles on the top of perpendicular pipes. They are joined to main pipeline at regular intervals. Nozzles keep sprinkling water on the crop as if it is like raining, like a fountain of water. So that is what is the sprinkler system. On the other hand, in drip system, the water falls drop by drop directly near the roots. This technique is mainly used for watering fruit plants, garden, trees. This technique conserves lots of water. Water is not wasted at all. This technique is highly successful in various regions. So the next point is protection from weeds. So what are weeds? As you have already studied, weeds are undesirable plant grow naturally with crops. Let's say for example, you have wheat crops, and in between these you have weeds. So you have to remove these weeds because weeds compete with the crop for water, nutrients, space and light. Some weeds are poisonous to animals and humans also. So you must have to remove this. It could be done by manually, by just picking up by hand or by using khurpi. This is known as weeding. The best time for weeding is before the flower and seed come up. Sometimes weedicides or chemicals are used to control the growth of weeds, for example 2,4-D. They do not affect the crop, and they dilute it with water and flow in with water, but it affects the farmer. So farmer should take care. They should cover their nose and mouth with the piece of cloth during spraying of these chemicals, as you can see here in this picture. Now harvesting. After so much of hard work, our crop is ready to cut. Cutting of crop, that process is known as harvesting. Usually any crop takes 3 to 4 months to mature. Once it matures, you can cut it either by hands manually or by using sickle. Or you can use machine that are harvester which is attached to tractor. Once you have harvested the crop, the seed grain need to be separated from the chaff. This process is known as threshing. As you already learnt various technique of separation, that was winnowing, in which it is done by manually by hand holding, in which lighter one are moved out, or it may be done by winnowing machine. And the other technique is combine. Basically it is a machine which is in fact a harvester as well as thresher attached to tractor, and it saves lots of time and labor. This period of harvest is of great joy and happiness in all parts of India. It is celebrated across the India, like Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Baisakhi in Punjab, Holi, Diwali, Nabhanya in West Bengal, Bihu in Assam. These are the major harvest festivals of India. Here our harvested grains are ready. Now what we need to do? Storage. We have so much of grains that are to be kept for longer time. It should be safe from moisture, insect, rats and microorganisms. Harvested grains have more moisture, so we need to dry it. After drying, they are ready to store. For large scale storage, we have huge silos. These are the grain silos. Farmers also use jute bags, organic bags, or metallic bins to store. We can also do chemical treatment to protect from pests like rats and insects. You must have seen at your home, your mother could do it with dried neem leaves. That is also a good substitute. Till now, We have talked about crop production, but any crop production requires some land animals along with it. When we rearing with the animals, taking care of the animals, this is known as animal husbandry. Under animal husbandry, lots of animals are there. Out of these, some good examples are cow, buffalo, sheep, goat, poultry farm, fish farming. We get lots of benefit from these. As you know, fish is good for health. We get cod liver oil from fish, which is rich in vitamin D. So, here our chapter crop production and management is complete. Now you can see how interesting and important it is. We have a quiz in a description. You can solve it and share your experience. If you like my video, then please like, share and subscribe.